You already know the title. The gaming genre with the most fucking swag there is. With awesome anime protagonists with big swords and convoluted storylines with repeat after repeat of reboots. I'm talking about fighting games. Now, I've always been attracted to fighting games ever since I was a 5-year-old with a PSP. Like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and even the Ultimate Ninja games. I'm never gonna forget my brother for convincing me to get the G-Force game on PSP. Now, no matter what era of fighting games you started on, there's a reason why you always come back to these games, no matter if they're supported or not. And it's that these games feel so timeless, even if they're 10 to 20 years old. Now, yeah, of course a lot of other genres have had this success. Look at the 3D platformer, look at the first-person shooter. But the thing that I really want to highlight about fighting games in this video is the mastery of aesthetics. No matter it be the character design, the world design, hell, even the mechanics, fighting games do it to perfection. Now, what turns a boy into a man is the ability of a 1v1 combat. And that's what fighting games achieve perfectly with the gameplay. The skeletal foundation of what makes every fighting game so unique and so perfect. You might be thinking that Popovers is going to talk about something like Tekken first. No. Lethal League Blaze will be my first example when it comes to this. While yes, there are the Super Smash Bros. That use platform elements in order to bring it into a fighting game, and Dive Kick, which the only moveset is just kicking, or dive kicking. What's this gameplay mechanic that makes Lethal League Blaze so wacky and fun? It's baseball. Yeah, it's basically Pong the fucking fighting game. All you do is hit the ball until it ricochets and hits the enemy player. Essentially, the only thing that does damage is the baseball that you hit around, and the faster it is, the more damage it does. If you've seen pros play this fucking game, dude, it goes insane. It goes insanely fast. Even playing it with casual friends, and we're gonna have a blast seeing that ball just move at like Mach 35 speed. Besides me being a total idiot, the way how this game plays is honestly really fun, and it's refreshing for like a fighting game. Moral of the story, if Lethal League Blaze was a person, I'd do unspeakable things to it because it's amazing and it deserves all the slop that it gets. Big gameplay mechanic changing things like this don't necessarily have to be the reason why people play. There could just be minor things and details within the engine or the code itself that completely changes the tech of each fighting game. The best example is Justin vs. Daigo. Like, tell me this shit is possible in Heritage of the Future. No, it's not. Maybe? I don't know. But I think the best example when it comes to different engines introducing different tech is of course the different engines that the Super Smash Bros. Games come in. We're going to be comparing Super Smash Bros. Melee and Smash 64. Let's talk about Smash 64 since it came out first. This game was a first of its kind, a platform fighter. To quote this Reddit post, Smash 64 is very different in the sense that it is somewhat like a traditional fighter. The meta favors first hits and combo executions, so it prioritizes that over something like a fast-paced continuous combo. You can even see in these pro clips that they're trying to chase after those first hits or those combo executions, something that could kill them faster, more heavy attack. So it is similar to a traditional fighting game in that sense. While Smash Melee uses a modified version of the N64 engine and cranks up the speed by 100. You could say that both of them are very combo intensive games, but what Melee does, it puts a priority on movement in its meta. So it doesn't matter if you get the first hit, as long as you're really precise in your movement, you can easily win over the game. Now, one thing that Melee has that N64 doesn't is wave dashing. By comparing these two games and their engines, you can tell from one small change, the meta completely switches from instant attacks and instant combos to movement and wave dashing. It all just puts into perspective how an engine can change everything. Alright, I don't know where to add this part in, but I completely forgot to talk about the soundtrack of fighting games. Soundtracks aren't overlooked when it comes to fighting games. Soundtracks make or break a fighting game experience. You pop the bad boy in and you better hear some fucking quality when it comes to that shit. Look, if you boot up a fighting game and the music sounds like this, you know it's gonna be a blast. I've been showcasing a lot of fighting games when it comes to this video. One of the fighting games I was originally going to showcase was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Because they have a lot of remixes of their original soundtracks, and Tekken has some pretty goofy songs when it comes to its soundtrack. If you know the yodeling song from whatever Tekken game it is, but I'm sorry to say, you're going to be checked in a mental facility. Because after hearing this, your mind's just going to keep looping. You're going to become the next Sigma. You're going to just start yelling. And you're going to stay in your mind. And it's going to be an abyss that flows in your head. And you're just going to stop thinking and only think about that yodeling song. That yodeling song on Tekken. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to talk about Killer Instinct, the king of soundtracks when it comes to fighting games. Killer Instinct is a masterpiece of a fighting game in its own, but what it shines on especially is the soundtrack. The bombastic soundtracks of the franchise have been a staple, especially when it comes to the iconic menu music. You could hear it everywhere, even when browsing through the menus. The menu plays the melody of the main theme whenever you scroll through like the options or some shit, which is actually really awesome. And when I tell you that the soundtrack is perfection, dude, the composer also composed the music of Doom Eternal. Tell me if that isn't gonna be good. And if you can't tell from a lot of the background music that I've been using right now, then I'm sorry to say, but you suck. Listen to Spinal's theme. Listen to Cinder's theme. And the one thing I want to showcase is Arbiter's theme. Unlike the Halo TV series, the soundtrack actually kept it faithful to the Halo franchise itself, with the introduction sounding like something that came out of straight from Halo 3. But Mick Gordon adds a very heavy rock influence to this soundtrack, and it makes it very explosive. It makes it very awesome to play with. You could hear this bombastic style of composition in a lot of these songs, and that's what makes this game so fucking hype. Killer Instinct soundtrack is just so fucking good, and I really just needed to showcase it for this part. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the reason why I made this video about fighting games, which was the art direction in them. I was originally going to split it into two things, characters and world. Now I'm going to put it into one. Let's just describe it as personalization, character, the art direction that goes around fighting games. This is what makes or breaks a fighting game, because every single art direction makes the games unique. Now when I mean by the art direction, I mean visually, but I also mean in its storytellingness, how rich the world is, how rich the environments are, and the lore itself. That's why a lot of people get attached to fighting games as a whole. They can attach themselves into a world, into a character. That's why I honestly really like Tekken. There's all of these insane fucking wacky characters that you can just attach yourselves to, or very serious characters. Honest to God, I can examine every character in Tekken right now, but I want to talk about a personal fan favorite. A character that really got to me when I was 5. A character that I loved, that I pointed to and said, yup, that's right, I'm him. That's me right there. It was Mokujin. I love Mokujin. There's something about him that I just love. I didn't even know until much later on in my life that Mokujin was supposed to emulate other people's fighting styles. I just loved him because, look at him. How beautiful he is. He's like a walking tree. Something about his abstract design, on his carvings, the way his eyes glow, those balls that he has attached as fists, the chains that he has, honestly just kind of gravitated towards me. It's like, yep, that's me. That's me, alright. I'm Mokujin. Mokujin's my favorite character. And honestly, good for me, because I have the best time when I play the arcade mode when it comes to him. He literally, at one of the games in Tag Tournament 2, he goes and takes a trip to Bandai Namco itself. That's what I love about these fighting games, and that's why I love guest characters. When two different fighting games and two different aesthetics just clash, go into each other. Like Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Those two games have such great chemistry because of their aesthetics. And don't get me started in the story mode, when Akuma was literally sent to kill Heihachi and almost fucking did it. And Akuma himself is so fucking cool. I love playing him in Street Fighter just because of his awesomeness. He goes in, he glows red, he's basically already in like Kaioken form and decimates anyone in his path. But Popovers, you haven't talked about the most influential company when it comes to art direction in fighting games. I'm getting there. Arc System Works. Their work for the fighting game genre is a blessing to the soul. Anything they touch is an artistic masterpiece. Just look at this, look how rich this is. This is amazing. From Soul Bad Guy to Potemkin, everything is down to the bone perfect. Hell, they made one of the best anime fight. Like, okay, I don't care. This blows Storm right out of the way because Dragon Ball FighterZ just has the character. The animations are pixel fucking perfect. The models are amazing. They're 3D models. Look at that. Arc System Works put the time and attention to create the best artistic masterpiece when it comes to each and individual character in their games. And that's why we're going to talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ when it comes to Arc System Works. Because what differentiates Dragon Ball FighterZ from Budokai Tenkaichi and Xenoverse is not just the gameplay itself, but honestly the execution that goes on when it comes to all of the characters, the animations, and everything that goes around the Dragon Ball game. We could actually look at Android 21 when it comes to this game, because she's an original character for Dragon Ball FighterZ who makes a bombastic introduction in this game. Everything from her character design to her human form to her Majin Buu form is perfection. And I could say the exact same thing when it comes to every other character that they emulate, like Dragon Ball Z Broly, Super Baby, hell, even Master Roshi. Yeah, they emulate Master Roshi perfectly, and I love his moveset. This game emulates the reason why I love fighting games. From the amazing soundtracks to the unique character designs, we looked over what made fighting games so timeless, what made them so special, and what made people want to play them again. It's the things that I've talked about throughout this video that have built strong, reliable communities within fighting games, and honestly, it's amazing and beautiful, and I don't think it could be emulated anywhere else. I love fighting games. If you guys like this video, you know, do the thing. Like, subscribe, comment. I would really appreciate all the support because I'm gonna go into this year full force, and if a lot of these videos work well, I'm gonna get a better mic. That's right, a better mic. Like, I don't know. I'll talk to the fire enthusiast guy and see if he can hook me up with a better mic. But anyways, hope you guys take care.